another side or a different aspect of the same basic problem about importance, one may call it sanctity of life, is again, on the face of it, seems to be almost like a legal problem. And the problem would be, to whom does life belong? This question has obviously, and almost immediately, any answer, obviously, immediately, a fair amount of ways to answer. And any way of answering it means opening the road for practical and at least theoretical decisions. The question about to whom does life belong is something that does not have an obvious answer. Even though it is answered sometimes in different societies in different ways, or to put it even otherwise, it is answered in different periods, according to different philosophies, or different, one may call it different theologies. This same question is answered in different ways. But those answers that deal seemingly with a very theoretical question come to very practical results. And if I would continue from basically the same formula, even though it is not necessarily exactly a logical sequence, but at least it's a good logical consideration. That would be that the sanctity of life is not a matter of possession, but becomes, in that sense, a theological statement. Being born in the image of God means that I am belonging by the very virtue of being a human being. I belong to a special category, which is I am the image of God. As such, the right to interfere with it, to destroy or desecrate that image, is not really I, as a person, don't have any special right to do so more than anybody else, because as it is, my relationship to my life is not because it is my property, but because there is another consideration that forces me to relate to life in a different way, which may mean, which incidentally, that is the Jewish basic point of view, says that when it comes to my money, I am the master. I can give it to whomever I want. When it comes to life, I am not the master, because the very consideration about life is not connected with my possession of it, but it is connected with some kind of a very different directive, and because of that, it should be dealt with as, at utmost, one may call himself a custodian of something that was incidentally given into his hands to keep to keep an image. It is like something that really doesn't, it really belongs. It is a sanctified object that was lent to me for some use, but it is not mine proper. So I have at least to return it intact. And any other treatment would be unfair or not right. Now, that is one way of dealing with it. But in any other way, I have somehow to answer this question, because in a different form, let's say taking not a Talmudic, but a different and perhaps a contemporary point of view, if I would say that my life belongs to society, then it also makes some kind of limits to the rights that I have, not only over somebody else's life, but also about my own life. In a certain way, I would put it in the following, say, form. If the notion about sanctity of life, thou shalt not kill, is a statement that is made for the well-being of society, and the importance of life is because it is a social consideration. But if it is a social consideration, it doesn't give me as the person that is involved, a very special right to deal with it in any different way. In that sense, incidentally, which is true in many armies, a soldier that maims himself will be court-martialed for damaging army property. It's not a joke, but it's a fact. It is done like this because, for the time being, while serving in the army, he has to take care not only of the arms and uniform he's given, but also over his body. And if he damages any of these, he will be brought to court just because he's responsible. Now, the same thing would be in a general social manner, which will be who is the owner. If society in some way is the owner, then I have a very limited rights, almost in the same way that I cannot make a general rule about paying income tax and saying that, well, about my money, I decide that my own needs take precedence over that of society.